All right, what's going on? This is the Pinstripe Strong podcast. This is episode 1. There's only one episode 1, and it is March 27th, and we're here. We're really excited to bring this content and to start it off for this season.
Super excited.
All right, so it's me, it's your boy Joe's McFly here from the Bronx. My boy Chris. What
Chris
up, Chris?
McFly. What's going
All
on,
right.
everybody?
Okay, we're gonna be here talking Yankees for the season and things like that. I guess for a lot of people that don't know who I am and where I come from, or this is your first time even hearing about me, basically, I became a Yankee fan back in '94. My dad actually took me to the stadium for the first time. I would play baseball, little league and all of that stuff, but I wasn't really following any teams until around that time. And I actually walked into the stadium. I remember how everything looked. It's just the ambiance, the smell of the popcorn, the hot dogs, and all that stuff. And even though it was pretty expensive, my dad was like, or even at that time, he was like, "Oh no, you ate already." Or, and by the way, I'm Dominican, so if you hear some
Dominican slang.
yeah, some Dominican come out, then you understand why. But basically, he was like, "Oh, you ate already, or you just ate at home. I made sure you ate, so you're not hungry." I'm like, "Damn, I want a hot dog just because it should smell good." You know what I mean? So got there, and I remember one thing that my uncle told me that kind of stuck with me. Where he used to kind of he used to play baseball before, professionally. He used to tell me, "Hey Joe, or in Spanish," where he told me, he said, you know what, Joe, on that field, the best players in the world play there. And I don't know, I just kind of fell in love with it. That's why I never get tired. I go to Yankee Stadium all the time. I never get tired of going to the stadium. I'm always like, I don't want to say in awe, but I'm like I'm not jaded by being there, being there so much. And I love being there. I love going to the games and watching the games. I don't care if it's a blowout or whatever it is. I would stay the whole time.
Facts.
So I'm so happy to be finally doing this podcast. For a lot of people that do know me, you know that throughout the season, I do a lot of reaction videos to a lot of the Yankee games, home runs, where when I'm at the game, and the view behind that was that my boy Chris here, he was actually the one that kind of motivated me to do that. He was like, "Yo, Joe, why don't you start?" This is back in 2017. "Yo, Joe, why don't you start a Yankee blog?" Right? So I just write about the Yankees.
Blog.
And I said, okay, because I like to write and stuff like that. But I thought about it and I said, I want to do something different, something that kind of hasn't been done. And at the time, I was just looking like, shit, like, what the hell should I do? Like, what's one thing that I'm always looking for after the game, right, Chris? So it's like, I want more reaction. I'm watching the Yankee post game. I'm looking on ESPN for more reaction to the game, watching the same highlights like 20 times. So I'm like, yo, what am I gonna do? Okay, let me do something where it's kind of like a fan outlet. And probably there was one at the time, but I couldn't really find one, or I was too lazy to look. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna just do my own stuff where I'm gonna react to games and I'm gonna talk about the games after the game. And then when I get, when I'm at the game, I bring more of an experience of shit. Like you're almost there watching the game with me. So it's fun. And, I met a lot of great people doing that. And, I just think a lot of the people that kind of motivated me to do that and to do this finally, right?
Finally. Yes,
Finally.
long time coming.
So, and then that ended up morphing into last year. I did some like live live games, live streams while I'm watching the game, and I'm watching it with a group of people. So if you guys ever do watch it, I'm gonna plug all that at the end or whatever. You can find it now. You could look for me at Joe's McFly on YouTube, on Twitter and over there, and then we could be able to try to. You can subscribe to my page, and I'm gonna be doing all of that content on there. But that's basically how I got started, man, and started with this podcast here, man. Well, what about you, Chris? How'd you get started with the Yankees? And I know me and you go way back, watching games in high school, freaking talking on the home phone about, during big games. So it's like, when did you get started?
My story starts with my dad. Actually, my dad used to play baseball in Dominican Republic. He used to tell me stories how his glove used to be a milk gallon, like the plastic,
Yeah.
and that's how I used to play and put tape around rocks and stuff like that, and that used to be the ball. So I guess it started with him. I wasn't really too much into watching the game. Like my dad would have games on, and he would
Mhm.
tell me he would force me to sit down on the couch. Like, no, you're gonna come sit down with me. And it was a random Oakland game. Like I don't. All I remember was like long hair, like the dudes playing on the field with long hair. But one thing that always stood with me because I was born in New York, but my mother and my dad they moved to Boston,
Yep.
enemy territory, and they always used to ask me like, hey, who do you like? And I remember as a kid like saying, I love the Yankees, and this is me living in Boston. So it wasn't until like I came back to New York,
Yep.
and I would see baseball here and there. And when I got to high school, that's when I got more into it,
Oh yeah.
way more into it. I met Joseph. We went to high school together, and that's when the Dominicans
Oh
were going for
yeah. That's how
Boston
it
because of
was. Yeah.
Pedro Martinez
Yeah. I hated that
and
shit, bro.
Manny and David Ortiz, and it was like it was
Oh
this
man.
thing about Yankees. That's when in the height of the of the basically the Yankees in Boston,
Yep.
Red Sox going at each other. So it was a crazy time, man. And it's funny because in a way we've been doing this for a long time, even though this is our first podcast
Yeah. Just nobody been
together.
listening.
Nobody been listening. It's just us. It's just us basically talking about it, and it's a long time coming. It's a
Yeah.
long time coming to put it out there for you guys to hear it and share this moment with us. Can't wait. I can't wait to keep it going, growing it, and
Fact.
take it from there.
For
That's
real.
my
And
story. That's my story. Simple, little simple, but that's my
yeah,
story.
no, it is. It is. And but it's like the way I look at it is like it's a couple of things. You're lucky that that whole thing with your dad didn't work. It didn't work the other way, where it's like, shit, I hate baseball, bro. Like, what the hell? You made me watch this long ass shit. So
But what's funny? You know what's funny? In Boston actually. I used to play stickball. I used to
okay.
play stickball with my cousins,
Oh yeah. In
and
DR, I used to play bitilla. Well, you know what
yeah,
that is? It's like you get a bottle cap, and then it's like stickball basically, but instead of a
okay,
ball, it's a freaking bottle cap. That's just
man,
moving all sorts of way. So
man,
that's where
that that,
Dominicans
that's where the
have a little
Dominicans, like, yeah, man, that's where they're breaking records.
yeah.
Everybody. We're not Dominican bias here.
Yeah,
Everybody, we love
yeah,
everybody.
for real. It's just I'm really proud of my heritage though. So you guys
Facts.
need to understand that. So, but everybody's de lo mio. So
Oh, this is juice. This is juice. This
yeah.
is
So right now we're actually on we're on YouTube and we're doing this and we're gonna be putting this up here. And tomorrow is actually opening day. So I'm excited for that.
woo,
Yeah,
woo.
can't wait. So we're gonna be, talking about that, talking about, the spring and how that happened and this freaking so happy this off season ended basically because I was
Okay.
there that last game of the season, bro. I was in the
Oh,
stadium with Ram, which you guys may hear in this podcast. Like we may have a couple of friends hop in and out and stuff like that. But bro, that game was crushing to me. Every time I go back and watch that game, and if you guys haven't, you could go to my YouTube page. You could be able to see it. You have like my view. I'm sitting there and where my normal section where I always sit, section 105. Bro, I don't want to admit this to the freaking Red Sox, but man, they took my freaking soul in that game, bro.
that's hard.
That last game, game 4 in the stadium, and I was
It was
so
just
hyped. I was so hyped. I was so ready to take that shit back to Boston and try to freaking win that shit because they had no pitcher because they
at
used
all.
Sale that night, and I was so ready. I was so freaking ready. And bro, that Gary Sanchez ball, I thought it was out of here, bro.
It was cold.
Don't tell me, bro. I mean, off the bat, I'm like, please.
Ah,
My heart stopped. I'm shaking. I'm holding my phone, like, yo, bro. And then, Gleyber Torres was then out. And then, that whole inning where Kimbrel was like, come on, guys, please. I want to blow the save. Can I please blow the save? Like, I want to lose. And we just couldn't get that last run in there. You know, it's like,
But
oh,
what's crazy? We lost the way that we've been complaining about, like as to the reason why we've been complaining about all year, getting that big hit.
exactly.
We always fell short of that big hit, and
Yep.
that was a tall tale right there.
Runners in
In
scoring position.
runners scoring position, it was just you know.
One thing I always say,
But
Chris is wearing the shirt now, right? The sack fly is underrated, right? And it is. The sack fly is underrated because you're getting in runs. But bro, I want a double. Can I get a bases clearing double too? You know, maybe a nice opposite field through the shift single that scores two. Give me that too. You know, that's okay.
or a little slap nut hit.
Yeah, he calls him a slap nut hit, like the annoying Johnny Damon. Yo, Johnny Damon used to annoy me as a freaking Red Sox. I loved him as a Yankee though, but he would get those at bats. It was like, all right, we're gonna get this guy. He struck out for sure. He struck out, and it's like, last minute, fouled off, and then a little annoying little flare hit that just gets by right into right field between the first baseman and second baseman, and it's like, shit, bro, I hate this guy. And then when he's playing 4 years, like, you love him, but you know, you want that kind of thing. And I think that the Yankees kind of did that this offseason by addressing a couple of things, and by what they did in the spring, it looks like they kind of focused more on going the other way. I don't know if you've seen that in the couple of games that you did see, but like Greg Bird going the other way, he's going there with authority, right? And we'll talk about Greg Bird in a little bit, because I am not the biggest Greg Bird, fan, because I'm out, right? I'm out, but I want to be surprised by him. And oh yeah, by the way, guys, you may hear some curses in this podcast. I got to throw that out there. You may hear it. I'm not gonna be the person that's just gonna curse just to curse, But if I'm gonna throw out a shit or fuck, it's for a reason, right? So it's like I'm gonna throw that out there. But I guess family show maybe, but probably not. But yeah, I mean, I just think that the Yankees maybe try to put more emphasis on an approach of trying to go the other way, and that's why their roster is built the way that it is, because everybody's always saying, oh, you need left-handed hitting, but if you're the Yankees with the short porch, you have to build around left-handed hitting and left-handed power hitting. And you know what, while that still holds true, I think while I think that because of the shifts, right? So I think that the shift kind of took that away, because left-handed hitters are affected a lot more severely than right-handed hitters. And
we can name a few.
Yeah, I mean, like even like a Bryce Harper, right, as an example, affected by the shift.
Brian McCann, when he was
right. Cano was one, and this year actually one thing, and Cano's a Met now, right? So, but Cano said that he's going to purposely go the other way. He's actually had the best spring out of anybody. Like, I think he was up in the 400s in his batting average. Like, it was insane. He said, I'm going to make these guys pay for shifting me. And you know what? Until lefties start doing that, they're going to keep shifting you. But in the meantime, the Yankees said, you know what? We're going to build our roster against right-handed hitting, because you can't shift too deep. You can't shift the shortstop too deep into left field. But we're going to do that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to also focus those right-handed hitters go the other way. Gleyber Torres goes the other way. Aaron Judge goes, I mean, he could freaking, and we call him Aaron 3-2 Judge, right? Because he comes up, he wakes up out of bed, he has not brushed his teeth yet, and he already has a 3-2 count, right?
3-2 count.
Already has a 3-2 count. Exactly. Just waiting for it. But he goes the other way. All he has to do with one hand, just kind of poke it the other way. Giancarlo goes the other way. Gary Sanchez, when he's going right, he goes the other way. So Luke Voigt goes the other way. And there's just a lot of the entire lineup can go the other way. LeMahieu, when they signed him, he can go the other way. He has power the other way. So they're going to try to exploit that. So
love the LeMahieu signing.
I do. I love that LeMahieu signing, right? And, part of me was a little disappointed that we didn't get Manny Machado, because we kind of fed that. But I'm really happy with the team that we have. I am. I'm happy with what we did, what we added.
Super satisfied.
Paxton, I think he's gonna really put it together this year. I went on John Boy's podcast, Chris,
Oh, I gotta
and
hear that.
yeah, and he said,
Shout out to John Boy and Jake.
yeah, shout out to them, bro, and they're real cool. And to me, I always think there's no hate for me between me and anybody else. He had me on. They were doing like some hot takes, right?
Okay.
Joe, what is your hot take? I said this year, my hot take will be Paxton will be a top 5 Cy Young Award winner. So if you're if it's a hot take, obviously you have to be prepared to have some egg on your face, right? Because if that doesn't come true,
Right.
you're on record saying that um that you know that's gonna happen. So I just really believe in Paxton. The whole Paxton signing, I really do believe in. So but what do you think about that? What's your favorite move in this offseason signing or anything like that?
I think love the LeMahieu signing. Paxton, to me, the reason why I feel like the biggest signing impact is Paxton, or trading, I should say. We traded for Paxton is in getting him. He's a lefty.
Mm-hmm.
He's like ace number 2, I guess, if that's even a thing. Cease is leaving. Cease is leaving, and that's a big time lefty pitcher that we had for a mighty long time. And obviously, with him walking out, we needed something that is like passing the baton. Like, who's that power lefty coming out to give us 6-7 innings and hand it over to the bullpen
Yep.
with like 8 strikeouts. You know what I mean? So I feel like having him, especially now with Sevy in that situation there, and him can just having that reliable, the reliability that Sevy gives us, with Sevy going down a bit.
Yep.
I think having him there is superb. LeMahieu, I think he's gonna provide in the lineup. He's gonna provide the contact that we've been missing, because I feel like it's either power or bust, and I feel that that's gonna translate into everybody else. And I already heard Judge talking about that as well, so I think it's translating to everybody else in the lineup. So it's gonna be very exciting this year to see how far they can take it.
Absolutely. And he doesn't even strike talking about LeMahieu, he doesn't strike out much.
Yeah,
And even Judge, you've seen an approach change this season where he's looking to cut down on his strikeouts.
he said
So
that. Yeah,
yeah, he did. So he has like this 2-strike approach where he's not even like that stride is like basically gone, and he's just boom letting it fly. And he has had an amazing spring. I mean, he had 6 home runs this spring. Which we'll get into spring here, talk about some surprises, disappointments, some injuries, which sucks. The freaking injuries suck.
horrible.
But who has been your biggest surprise in this spring here? And the Yankees have had the best spring out of everybody, right? And of course, spring stats don't matter, quote unquote.
Right.
But they do. It's weird. People say, "Oh, spring doesn't matter," but their stats do. Like, I mean, they don't count
Yeah,
toward the regular season, but you want to see them do well, right? Like, you want to
yeah,
see the players do well. You want to see them perform, don't you? Like, what if they suck? Like, how much confidence would you have coming into this? What are you going to say?
yeah.
Oh, my team went. We won 1 game all spring. How do you feel? But I mean, you
Right.
feel like shit. The
Yeah.
Yankees ended up having a spring best 17-10. Astros had more wins, but Yankees had the best winning percentage, which is 630 winning percentage, I believe. But
Beautiful.
at that, what do you feel is like your big? We'll get into the freaking slew of injuries that hit the Yankees. And at one point, I wanted the freaking spring to end. It's like, yo, just end this shit now, bro. Like, oh my God, it's like I almost feel like every day somebody's getting nicked up and something's happening. It's like, yo, get me out of here alive. I just want to start the season. So, who was your biggest surprise this spring for you? And
I
who
think I
came out
think
for you?
um I think my biggest surprise right now. Well, it's funny. It's gonna sound a little weird, but I think my biggest surprise is how Big Bird, Greg Bird stepped up,
Oh yeah, yeah,
because yeah, everybody said he's a Springs baby. He's
yep,
always coming out, and showing out. Basically, if there was an MVP award, they will give it to Greg Bird every year. But
Mhm.
um,
There was some
I
pressure on
think
his ass coming into this
yeah.
spring too.
See, but that's what I'm saying. Because top, oh, is Luke Voigt. So it was either he was gonna lay back and just let Luke is my surprise as to how he responded. How about you?
I don't know, your connection cut out a little bit, but you said I think I heard something about Luke Voigt. That you said well, you got Luke Voigt there,
No, it's
and
basically he could have really just the way that he responded is what surprised me because he could have had Luke Voigt take the job from him, and he
yep.
could have came in struggling, not really caring, swing.
What the hell? Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Your connection's dropping a bit.
Hold on, let's do this.
All right,
Once,
so yeah,
hold on.
with
How about now?
I think it
I
was
think it was
the
the
internet,
internet,
and I'm
and I'm
hearing
hearing
myself.
myself.
Can you hear me better?
I think it's your internet cutting in and out.
I'm connected right now. Everything is good.
I'm not sure. All right. Well, we have the so to you, your biggest surprise was Bird.
Yeah,
I mean, I could be on Bird too. I was out on Bird for sure, out on Bird. I was saying, it's Voight, you know what I mean? It's his show just because of the way that the Yankees were talking about him and saying, "Oh, he's our first baseman," and I mean, reasonably so. He hasn't done anything, and unless Voigt forgot how
losing.
to play in the offseason, there's no
Yeah,
reason that he should lose that first baseman job. Now it's hard to have a freaking roster and carry two first basemen on there when they can't do anything else because it just makes your roster real rigid when you have a 3-man bench.
right.
But I mean, he surprised me. But how about Sessa, bro?
Oh,
How about freaking how about
sensation.
what the yo, bro? First of all, who is this guy?
Sensation.
Who is this guy? I don't. I was more out. I think I was more out on Sessa than what I was out on Bird. At least Bird, I was saying go to AAA. With Sessa, I was just straight like
No,
DFA.
we were saying how he's still on this team.
Exactly. I'm like, yo, can we DFA his ass? And I'll be the first to admit. I mean, if he could take this into the season, I'll be I'll be more than happy. But when you have a .98 ERA this spring, and he's been looking nasty and dominating, I'm talking about he's been looking good, and
How many Ks?
in let me see. In 18 and the third innings, he's had 19 strikeouts.
Not bad.
So, it's over a strikeout an inning. So he's been looking good. Batting average against 172. It's like, who is this guy? If he could put it together, that would be great, man. Because for that trade where we got Green and we got Sessa, if something like that is able to come and kind of complete that portion of the trade, I'll be so happy. But especially with where we are with the starting pitching, I mean that would be a godsend, And I mean, my biggest disappointment, um, but by the way, he's my biggest surprise. So I feel like Sessa can't be anyone else's biggest surprise. Let me know, guys, if you guys follow me on Twitter and let me know what your surprises were.
He wasn't the
Um,
only one writing him off, so
Oh, absolutely. So for sure. So my biggest disappointment, and it's not necessarily his fault, right? But
we both got the same one.
you think so?
So
Um, my biggest disappointment this spring, I'm gonna have to go with Clint Frazier, bro.
yeah,
Um, and you know what? It's not his fault because the fact of the matter is that he was out almost the entire season with the concussion and stuff like that. But and but there is a lot of stuff that he kind of does that calls attention to himself, right? Like to kind of like,
Yeah, say
I'm
it.
not saying it's just his personality, you know. And maybe when he's up there, he's already producing, he's doing well, which you know, he may be doing down the line. That'll play well, no problem. But you know, I get you don't like the Red Thunder nickname, but the fact that he's saying that he doesn't want to switch it, he wanted to switch that. And I like Wildling. I have no problem. I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan, by the way. And we're gonna talk about, you know, maybe a little bit of other shit other than baseball too. But I love Game of Thrones, and this season, you know, I'm a huge fan. I read the books, I do all that. I'm a nerd when it comes to that shit. But I love the nickname Wildling for him. Sure. But if he's going out there, you know, saying, I don't like this, I'm looking for a different nickname, fine, you can engage the fans that way. You come into spring training and you say, I'm here to take the job, the left fielder's job. I'm here to, you know, no disrespect to Brett Gardner. And of course, you're supposed to say that, you know what I mean? You got to come in there and say that. And but you gotta do better than this. I mean, if you're coming out there, you know, is Cliff Frazier the one for you?
Yeah, Clint Frazier is the one for me. I really I was excited to hear that he's past the whole concussion situation because his concussions are very very tricky.
Yeah, it's real dangerous too. The more that we learned about him, you know, I don't play with that stuff. I don't even joke about that stuff.
Oh, it's not compared to football contact level. Obviously, it's not that high, but it could be triggered with the smallest thing. So you really got to be careful with that. So the fact that he came
Yeah.
back, was able to stand in the box, and
Hmm.
very excited. It's just the numbers weren't there,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
just sucks.
I mean, 143.
It's just.
Sheesh.
But
I
then look,
mean,
hey, you did say, hey, you can either go back to AAA with your head down,
yeah,
and everything like that, or respond. And he
or
did
respond.
respond today.
Yeah, he did. He did. I think he went in the minor league game. He went like 4 for 4 with,
Five
you
for
know,
five, 2 home runs.
5 for 5.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe that makes it, you know, it makes him hungrier, and more power to him. I don't want to make it sound like I'm against Clint or I hate Clint or anything like that. If anything, out of both trades, that Gleyber Torres, you know, the Chapman for Gleyber Torres and McKinney and Warren trade, and the one for Fire Eyes and Ben Heller
Yeah.
and Clint Frazier, the one that I wanted, the one that I liked the most was the one with Cleveland.
Yeah. We
I
were
was
very excited.
so excited about Clint Frazier. My God. So, but you got to hit more than 143. You know, so he's just disappointment just because of that. But it doesn't mean that I don't think that he's gonna. I think he's gonna have an impact on this season. I just want him to stay healthy. That's all, and then be concussion free. If he's out of there, then great. You know, I'll be happy with that. But got to hit more than your freaking your weight to be on the team.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but also, so I mean, injuries, bro, came in. I think that there was something. I was looking for the tweet because I was afraid that I did tweet it. Maybe I dreamed that I tweeted it, but it was a part in spring, or maybe I said it to somebody, or said it in our personal Yankee chat, where I say, "Hey, you know what's the good thing about this spring? We're coming into this spring relatively healthy." And I don't know. I'm glad I wasn't able to find it. I was looking in every chat. I was looking
Somebody will now.
yeah, because I'm like, oh, maybe somebody's gonna surface that tweet. I don't think I did tweet it, but anyway, if I did, you know, go ahead and find it. Whatever, I'll eat crow. Oh my God, the Yankees injuries.
The thing about injuries though is that it feels like it's only happening to your team.
For
Like
real, right? It's like everybody's healthy, la 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 la, and then it feels like,
hitting, 11-3, and it's like why it feels like we're the only team going through this.
yeah, it's like great things are happening in, like, you're watching a spring game. It's like, okay, well, I'll give you an example. Great things are happening in the game. No problem. I'm watching this game. Everything's going great. I'm excited because Florial's in the game. I love watching Florial. He's my favorite prospect in the system, even when Glaber was there, because he's actually I read his story, it's just awesome. But he goes up to try to steal a pitch on the wall, fractures his hand. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Oh,
I get so upset, man. I was just like, Oh my god! But I mean, injuries right now. Yankees are actually starting the season with
Wonder-
7 people on the IL. I gotta get used to saying that injured list.
I'm gonna say DL.
Disabled list. No, I'm not saying DL because apparently it may be offensive to people that are disabled. I think that was their reasoning for it, or they don't want to put it as if like somebody actually has a disability. But anyway, I digress.
Oh,
7 people on the IL. We've got Hicks,
Kansas.
which that one sucks. The Hicks one sucks because I'm expecting like big things out of Hicks this year.
It was literally like right after he signed like the contract.
Right, the extension. And then you have Betances, which that one was I think, listen, people were like, oh my God, he's gonna be blaming his kid. I can't believe he's blaming his kid. No, listen. I'm telling you, as a father of 2 kids, I things change around that time, bro. Especially if you're a first time father. It's like you want everything to be perfect. You want things to be like, you know what? Hold on, I want to get this. You start getting extra pampers. The baby's not even born yet. He didn't even take his first shit. You're already buying extra pampers and wipes and all this. So there's a lot of preoccupation. And of course, he's a professional athlete, but this is his first time going through this. So I understand if he did not ramp up at the right time or practice as much. Give him a pass, guys. I've seen some people were like, "Oh my God, how could he not be ready?" or try to force himself to be ready. He got into camp, tried to rush, and then he's fine. He should be. Actually, Hal Steinbrenner said that he actually expects him and Sevi on the mound this weekend, so should be great.
Nice.
They shouldn't be that far along. Probably Sevi's a little bit further along than Betances, but we'll see from there. Didi, well, we know Didi's gone with the Tommy John surgery on his throwing elbow. He should be he looks like he's having the best fun in out of everybody in spring.
Commercials.
He's hanging around with his camera, making videos with Stucco. It's like, yo, bro, this guy's doing a whole bunch of shit. And he's having the time of his life, and he looks like he's progressing really well. Nothing negative there. I think that he's probably doing better than what the Yankees are leading on, and I think he might actually come back earlier, but we'll leave it that way. Severino got hurt. That one sucked. It was his first freaking outing. He got hurt before just warming up in the field, just inflammation. So he's better now. They just shut him down, put in some anti-inflammatories, and then he's good to go. We got Montgomery on the IL, which mid-season should be like almost a trade acquisition. Give him hell, Ben Heller, and also Ellsbury. Ellsbury is forever on the IL, but he's supposedly doing some baseball activities with the Yankees. And that's 7 of them. It will be 8, which, by the way, I don't even know how this is legally happening, and they're letting everybody know that this is happening with no problem. CC will be added to the IL after he serves his suspension, so they're gonna have him active on the 25-man roster for the season to start tomorrow, right? And he has a 5-game suspension because for that this one's for you, bitch. Where you remember that shit last year against Tampa, where um I even forgot the instance, but he ended up throwing. He was like 2 innings away. He was cruising. He was like 2 innings away or 3 innings away from actually getting a bonus. From the Yankees. I think it was like $500,000 or something like that. A bonus for completing this amount of innings. Right? It was like one of those markers in your contract, and he ended up throwing at a raised player. Hit him. They threw him out of the game. He got out. He pointed. I love CC for that shit. Where he looked at him just straight gangster, bro. This one's for you, bitch, and just walked off the mound, not giving a shit about any money that he could have earned by being there. So that was great. But how are they legally doing this? Just letting everybody know that he's going to serve the suspension, then go back on the IL, and then they're gonna bring him back. Yeah. By the way, it's my brother Jeffrey, and yeah, I don't even understand. That was his last start, and I don't even understand how the hell they could legally tell everybody. Like,
I think that's. Hey, listen, man, like I told you earlier, if hey, listen, man. If it's an option that's available,
absolutely,
gotta
take
use it.
advantage of it. It's just like
So
How that doesn't even sound like a suspension, but okay, he's already hurt. He's like, I'm gonna serve this shit while I'm hurt. Dick. And then come back and say, all right, I'm not hurt no more. I'm good.
hey, listen,
How's that work, Chief? I
man.
don't know. But yeah, let's get into the 25-man roster because this thing finalized and a little bit of drama. A little bit of drama for the 25-man roster spot, which we'll talk about in a second. But this is the roster here, which is pretty cool. Of course, the regulars are in there. You got Romine, Gary Sanchez at catching. You got Miguel Andujar, Greg Bird, right? So we'll talk about him in a second. You made it. You made it, Papa. DJ LeMahieu, Gleyber Torres, Gleyber Good, Trevor Tulowitzki. How is that his name? And then Luke Voigt, Brett Gardner, Aaron Judge, Giancarlo, Mike Tuckman. Is it Tuckman or Takashi 6'9"? Mike Tuckman.
If he starts hitting, that's his name. Talkman.
That's his name, right? Domingo Herman, J Happ, Paxton, Tanaka, CC, which we spoke about that right now. Britton, Chapman, Sessa, Green, Holder, Kane Lee, Ottavino, and my man's Tarpley, who, by the way, I am the most excited for. I know it's kind of weird. It's like, how could you be excited for a freaking bullpen piece out of all the players? I'm so excited for Tarpley.
He spoke it to existence. He said it. He was like,
I am a guy. I'm a big proponent of Tarpley. Huge. I love his demeanor on the mound. He's up there like, okay, I'm here to take care of business. All right, let's get on with this shit. Come on. Can you just give me the ball? I'm trying to get this guy out. Like, he just gets the ball, throws it, yeah, no, I'm not gonna do it. So he gets the ball, just throws it in there, throws strikes. I love that kid, man, especially from the left side. And that gives us a third lefty in that pen, which makes the pen even more dynamic than what it is now, which do we even need to talk about the pen at this point? I mean, but Tarpley, I am the most excited for. Who are you the most excited for in the 25-man roster?
25-man. I'm very excited to see how Sanchez rebounds this year.
Okay.
Defensively and offensively, because
he actually, Gary Sanchez is actually my who will like surprise you kind of candidate. So that's who Gary Sanchez is right now. Like, that's what he's like. He's gonna surprise me defensively, I think.
Defensively.
Defensively. I don't think he's not going to surprise me offensively, because I really do think that he's going to rebound off. He's not. I've seen him too much, like his entire minor league career. I've been following. We've been following this kid his entire since the Yankees signed him. I've been following him. He hasn't been that hitter that he was last year. I don't know if it was that shoulder. I don't know what it was, but he's definitely going to surprise us defensively.
He worked extra hard.
Well, he made some phenomenal plays this season, this spring. Sorry,
translating into live games. So
facts. And I said this to you, I think yesterday when we were talking about how the thing with Gary is just that I think his defense is more. Now people say it's all technique. I think it can be concentration, because probably and that's not an excuse, by the way. Last game, maybe Sunday night baseball game and things like that. And it's like a last game of a road trip or against a bum team, a whole bunch of bums in a row that you've been playing. And it's like the monotony of what baseball is. I think he may, sometimes he doesn't pay attention to detail in those moments, because why is it that when he gets in the playoffs, it's not an issue? He's a rock. He's a freaking rock in the postseason. So, you put him in the postseason, it's a big, he's super concentrated. I remember that freaking 2017 against the Astros.
I'm going to say that. Let's just talk about that game.
Bro, I will always remember that game because Tanaka pitched his ass off. That was the Greg Bird home run game. If you guys remember, Yankees won that game, that amazing game. That was game 3, I think. Was it game 3? Yeah, that was game 3. Bro, we were down 0-2. We needed that game so bad, and Tanaka nutted up like he always does in the freaking postseason and gave a performance for the ages. And he was throwing splitters after splitters after splitters in the freaking day. I'm getting hype right now just talking about this shit, bro. And Gary was back there like, bam, bam, bam. Yo, come on, throw this shit. Let's go. I'm stopping it right here. Let's go. Let's go. Throw it. Throw it. Like it was one time Tanaka was like, yo, chill. Let me not throw a splitter. No, Gary said, throw that shit. Throw that shit. He threw that shit. He bounced it. Gary got in front of that shit, blocked it, and threw him out at first. I was like, yo, there was a man on third. I think leadoff triple. Forgot who hit it. Leadoff triple.
Man on third.
I was like, oh my God.
That was the name.
I said, shit. And Gary's still got the balls to call after this, the whole year that he's had with the pass balls and everybody killing him and this, that, and the third. And he got the balls to call splitters. And Tanaka's like, all right, I'm game. And he's throwing splitters in the dirt repeatedly. And Gary's just behind there, just being a rock, blocking it. Like, oh my God, bro. That to me showed me it's got to be concentration. It's got to be. And if he can be able to kind of hone that in a bit, I think Gary Sanchez will be awesome because we all know what his arm is.
Top catcher in the league.
Oh, for sure. And it doesn't even take much to do that, bro. Like, you can probably wake up out of bed and be a top catcher in the league. So, but that's it. But for sure.
But what I was gonna say, man, you know, he reminds me of like in the postseason. Gary reminds me of, you remember Mario 64, that big rock with the face?
Yeah.
Like that's who Gary reminds me of.
Yo, I hated that rock, bro. It's been a bunch of times in Mario. I'm trying to get there, and then he's like, he's not like no face expression, and then he puts that angry face, like he's coming down with some force, and he kills me, bro. He kills me, and I gotta start all over, bro. I don't like that shit, bro. I don't like him. I don't like the ghost. First of all, turn around. I look at the ghost, and I don't want to get into a Mario tangent. I look around, look at the ghost. He's covering his eyes. I can still see you, bro. What are you doing?
He's like,
yeah, he's covering his eyes. It's like, come on, give me a break. But
stupid ghost.
But anyway, I mean, where the real drama with the 25-man roster came in from was actually Tyler Wade, and I love Yankee Twitter, by the way, but it was up and you know, I represent Yankee Twitter. Yeah. So if you're not on Twitter, get on Twitter, right? Get on Instagram. Also, follow me at Joe's McFly. Follow Chris at Chris McFly 28. Is that it?
McFly 28.
All right. And then follow the official Pinstripe, like the
official Twitter.
Yeah, the Twitter and Instagram for Pinstripe Strong. We're gonna be putting a whole lot more content on there. But yeah, so follow us at Pinstripe Strong. But anyway, on there, Tyler Wade did not make the team. And he was told on the last day, basically, of camp, hey, bro, you're not making the team. And he was upset. He had some words, bro. He had some spicy words. He was spicy.
He was not too happy.
No, let's just put it like that. He was not too happy. And
which you kind of like. I mean, you kind of
of course.
You're, for your player to have that type of emotion.
Yep.
Being picked.
Yeah.
But similar situation to Clint Frazier. Let's see.
Yep.
How he responds to it.
Yeah, I mean, he said he said it blindsided me.
That was the word.
Yeah, so he said basically he said that he was told that the Yankees needed a real outfielder.
I mean,
he said I still thought that he was here for depth, not kind of taking my job. And I get it. I do get it on his end. He just said, just the way I performed this spring, I did everything they asked me to do. I played well. I made the adjustments offensively, and now it's my defense that's not good enough. And he was very angry, as a couple of writers were saying. He was very upset that he was cut, which reasonably so. But all right, here's my thoughts on this Hathaway thing. First of all, I get it on the Yankees end. I get it on his end, and I'm going to talk about his end first. All right, let's just say you're at your job, right? And you want a promotion because you want to get more money and you want to, advance. And he tells you, you ask him, hey, what I got to do so that I can get this promotion? All right, I need you to do this. They give you a laundry list of shit that you got to do. You go ahead and you look at it like, all right, cool. Let me go ahead and do it because I want this position. I want to show them that I'm here.
Yep.
He does it. He goes through the whole thing. He exceeds, he hits, he plays defense, he plays all over. He plays, second base, shortstop, third base. He plays the outfield, all three outfield positions. He does all of that, the whole gamut. He's like, I'm going to make myself so flexible or, so versatile. I don't want to say flexible, but so versatile, so versatile that they're going to have no choice but to have me on the roster. And on the last day of this competition for this job, your job actually goes and hires somebody from the outside, and you're like, "What the fuck, bro?"
What
You'd be upset. So I get where he's at. The Yankees end of it are we need, we put you out there in the outfield. You perform adequately, but we want somebody that can play center field, and that we could have because of the Hicks injury. We want somebody that can be able to kind of step in and be able to spell these guys. Because I truly believe that it's going to be Giancarlo, uh, Gardner, and then Judge left to right, right? So if it's going to be like that, you can't run Gardner into the ground. You got to give Giancarlo certain days in left field. Left field is basically another center field over there in Yankee Stadium. So, you know, you want an experienced outfielder. And Mike, you know, Talkman. I gotta get his name right. Mike Talkman. Mikey T. I'm gonna call him Mikey T.
Mikey T.
Yeah. So and Mikey T is out here. He's got a glove and he can play center field. And he can, he can play all three outfield spots. So that's what you want for your fourth outfielder. You send Wade down, get some at bats, keep playing every day and get better. But it's hard to tell a kid that, hey, go down there and keep getting regular, consistent at bats. When he wants to be up here, you ask any minor league player, they would rather be on the major leagues making league minimum sitting on the bench. They don't care about that at bat shit. You know what I mean? Even though it's better for them in the long run, they probably prefer to be in the major leagues. But he's got two ways that he could go with this. He could either sit down and pout and bitch and moan, which I put this, I said that on Twitter, and or he could kind of put his head down and say, you know what, I'm going to work really hard so that all other freaking 27 or 28 teams, I'm not going to say 29 teams because the Yankees are not trading with the Red Sox. Yankee, so that they can all see who he is and that he's a major league player, you're auditioning for them too.
Exactly.
But which way do you think he's gonna go, Chris? I think he's gonna go more of the way of putting his head down and kind of channeling that anger in the right way, which is what Boone said too. But
the only reason I would even say that he will is because of the way that he reacted to it. Flick Frazier is very vocal on social media, and I didn't get that, but he responded with his bat today.
Yep.
I would want to think that Wade is gonna do the same thing and just let his bat, do the talking, his glove do the talking. But
I'm with that.
I don't know. I hope that.
Yep. I'm definitely with that here. So that for him, hopefully, he comes out on the other way for this and then ends up. I think he's gonna end up playing a part because just how long a season is, and my favorite day of the season is coming up, which is opening freaking day. And it should be a national holiday. I should not have to take a day off. Like, what the hell? Why am I taking a day off to celebrate opening day? I mean, it's America's pastime, right? So, I mean, when it comes to opening day, I love it because of the freshness of it. Everybody starts at zero. A lot of teams are optimistic, even though right now a lot of the teams are openly tanking. But there's an optimism to opening day. I love that shit. You walk into the stadium, you see the bunting, you see the fresh cut grass. I haven't seen the stadium since we were eliminated. And I stood in there. I even took a lap around the stadium, like kind of walked around a bit and kind of took it in a bit, when we got eliminated, and congratulated certain Red Sox fans, that I know, um, and kind of sat back in the seats. The security guards were really nice to me. They were like, "Yeah, man, you can just sit there. Don't worry about it." And I just sat there and kind of just looked in the field like, "Shit, man, like this shit sucks." But opening day just kind of like cleans the slate for me, bro. And I'm ready. I am ready for what the beauty is of baseball, which is 162 and 180
Yep.
every day. You know, from tomorrow on, guys. And this is why I fell in love with baseball. Also, it's kind of like life, right? Some days you're gonna have some good days. Some days you're gonna have some bad days. But next day there's another game,
Exactly.
and you're gonna wake up every single day. There will be a Major League Baseball game on TV. You know, there will be one from here all the way to the end of September. There will be a game. So I love that. I love that monotony, and it can get tiresome sometimes, especially if you're doing producing content for it. But I love opening day, man. That to me is like so awesome, man. I'm excited just thinking about it. What about you, Chris? Like, what's like your favorite thing about opening day, or maybe like a memory or something like that that you've had from opening day is always stuck with you?
I think opening day, like you said, is it should be a holiday. It's different. You know, New York,
Oh yeah,
when baseball is there, I don't know. You see more people just engaged in conversation. You know, talking about baseball and just the sound of the bat again. You
oh
know,
yeah. Smell of the hot
the
dogs.
hot dogs. You know what I mean? The guy yelling, the Cracker Jack guy.
Oh yeah, the yeah, Cracker Jack, Cracker Jack.
Well, man, I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
And you know, some of my best memories growing up is with baseball and having a return right now, especially how last season ended.
Yep.
Amazing. But as we're talking about opening day, what like you asked me, what's what I like about it, but I'm gonna ask you, what's a memory that you have or your favorite memory?
Um, I mean, my favorite memory, the one that really sticks out to me, like an opening day game that sticks out to me, it's got to be the Matsui, like Yankee opening day in Yankee Stadium,
Oh, fucking yes.
where he hit that grand slam, and I'm just like, whoa, yeah, I'm just like, what the hell? And that was awesome. Like I love that moment. That moment was like I fell in love with Matsui since then, man. And there used to be a guy in the bleachers. You remember him, right? Every time Matsui would hit a home run,
Absolutely.
he would have like this Godzilla thing, this that he would lift up. He was a season ticket holder, and he would hold it up, and it had like it had a Godzilla, basically a cartoon Godzilla with a Yankee hat on, and he had number 55, I think, on a like a jersey or something like that. He would hold it up, and he would only put it down once he finishes touching home plate. And I always remember that, and that was awesome. I didn't go to that game, but I watched it on TV. So I love Matsui, man. Matsui, my favorite.
Matsui is one of my top
Oh
five.
yeah. Oh, Pedro hated him. Pedro hated him. Oh my god, he hated him.
Oh yeah, he showed him.
He showed him.
He showed him.
Oh man. Do you have one? Do you have an opening day?
It's Matsui.
Oh, is the Matsui one? Okay, yeah, I knew it. That one probably sticks out. Let me know, guys, what you guys think. If you guys do see this and whatnot, what's your favorite opening day memory? How you guys feel about it? Going back whenever. So feel free to knock yourself out with that, or just at me on Twitter and let me know what your favorite opening day memory is. But guys, we had so much fun, and I could talk baseball forever, right? And this was awesome. The first episode 1. I love it. We're putting this podcast out because I'm excited to get the season going, and we're gonna have a schedule for this. It's probably I want to do a podcast after every series, right? So after every series, the series usually end either on Wednesday or Thursdays, and on Sundays.
Yeah.
So I want to do a series after every game, and not after every game. I want to do a podcast after every series. So we'll talk about what happened in that series, how we feel, reactions, things like that. I'm still gonna do my normal vlogs, so that's not going away. I'm still gonna do my normal streams. That's not going away. I'll have organized that. I have more schedules coming out. But guys, make sure you guys Like, if you're watching this on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. If you guys are listening to this on the podcast, thank you guys so much for being the first. There's only one first, and this is the first of many podcasts, right? So you hear ground floor in the beginning, guys. We're from the Bronx. This is by the Bronx and for the Bronx. Let's go. All right. So make sure you guys leave a 5-star review. This is going to help us make a lot more videos, maybe get even more guests and stuff like that on here. So we're going to love that. But yeah, I mean, anything you want to let them know, Chris, before we do let them go?
Just follow the Pinstripe Strong Twitter, also Instagram. Follow Joe's McFly, Chris McFly 28 on Twitter. And let's keep it moving. Let's keep it going. First one. If my sound sounds a little off, well, no worries. we got the new stuff coming.
Some new equipment.
And again, there's the beginning, so it's only gonna get better from here.
Facts. Stick with us, and trust me, you won't regret that, man. But like I always say, this is the saying that I always have. You're gonna hear this a lot. Make sure you guys keep your pinstripes on, you keep them strong, and let's go Yankees, man. Tell them, Noah.